Health System Tracker reports current estimates from the CDC suggest 30.3 million people in the U.S., 9.4% of the total population, have diabetes, including 23.1 million with the diagnosis and 7.2 million who are undiagnosed. The cost of insulin and other medical supplies necessary for diabetics to survive is so extreme in the United States that many of the millions of type 1 and type 2 diabetics often go without their insulin, or they suffer with the financial burden the illness places on them. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the age of 12, and throughout the years, I have come to realize just how expensive and even deadly this illness can be. Today, I will be sharing with you the reasons why insulin is so expensive, the solutions that can lower the prices of insulin, and the costs that will occur if nothing is done to solve this problem. The price of insulin is so high in the United States that many Americans cannot afford their insulin, especially if they don't have health insurance. Elizabeth Snowfer from Diabetes Voice shows how costly insulin is, writing, "The retail price for 3 vials, 30 milliliters, of any fast-acting analog insulin is $1,025 US. Double that price if you include long-acting insulin. Most adults and children with type 1 and type 2 diabetes use 20 to 50 milliliters per month, either in vials or pens and pumps, which are more expensive forms of therapy. For diabetics without insurance, that can be thousands of dollars a month on insulin alone. Why is insulin so expensive? There are many reasons for this, but the ones we will focus on today have to do with the power of Big Pharma. One of the main reasons why the market price of insulin is so high is because there are only 3 companies that produce a majority of insulin in the United States. Due to the lack of competition in this market and the fact that insulin is a necessity for diabetics, these companies can price their products at whatever is desirable to them. Natalie Scher from the American Prospect explained this, saying, "The 3 pharmaceutical companies that manufacture insulin, Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and Sanofi, rake in billions in profits annually from insulin sales alone, with the U.S. market accounting for 15% of global insulin users, but almost 50% of its worldwide revenues." The lack of competition allows these companies to place the hefty price tag on their products with little to no consequence. To continue, the reason why insulin is so expensive is because these billion-dollar companies lobby politicians and other people in power to vote in their favor and to keep quiet about insulin pricing. A direct example of this was reported by Yue Stella Yu from OpenSecrets.org, saying, "Eli Lilly has spent $4.2 million on lobbying so far this year." Eli Lilly, also known as Lilly, was one of the 3 main insulin manufacturers we discussed before. The billions of dollars they make every year allow them to donate or lobby politicians in order to have control in government and government legislation. When politicians accept large donations from companies like this, it is less likely that politicians will vote for what is actually right for the public well-being. This can lead to corruption, and in this case, leads to everyday Americans not being able to afford the medicine they need to survive. Big Pharma is the main reason why insulin is so costly in the United States. They are so powerful because there are only 3 companies that produce the majority of insulin, and their billions of dollars in profits allows them to lobby politicians and influence legislation about their products. Big Pharma insulin companies have so much power in the U.S. that they can price their products that people need to survive at drastic levels, and they are so profitable that they can influence government legislation. We can combat high insulin prices by making medical insurance available for everyone regardless of income. Leo Gerard from Our Future explained how a plan like Medicare for All can help diabetics and other people with medical problems, saying, "With a single-payer system like Medicare for All, every American would have the safety and security of health insurance. Prices overall would decline as overhead costs charged by private insurers disappeared. And crucially, Congress would allow Medicare to bargain for lower pharmaceutical prices, as done by Canada and other countries with universal health insurance." Although this solution does not eliminate the power that Big Pharma has, it will eventually decrease the prices they can charge for their products and make it affordable for everyone. Additionally, we can lower the cost of insulin by creating strict legislation to directly lower the price or make discounts clear and available for all diabetics. Gabby Bottino from National Coalition on Healthcare claims, manufacturers should be required to disclose more information about effectiveness, and all entities in the supply chain should report prices paid, discounts and rebates received. Discounts and rebates should be shared with patients. Making sure diabetics are aware of the discounts and rebates manufacturers may offer is a direct way of lowering the out-of-pocket costs that many patients endure each month. There are many ways the unaffordability of insulin can be addressed, but creating a health plan that makes sure all people have health insurance and creating stricter legislation for big pharma companies are the most direct ways to approach this issue. Insulin prices in the U.S. are unreasonable, and most people cannot afford it without health insurance. But there are ways to solve this issue. As a country, we can implement an insurance program that covers all people and will have access to so everyone will have access to proper medication. We can also introduce stricter legislation to make insulin more affordable. If nothing is done to solve this problem, the price of insulin will continue to rise, and if people cannot afford their insulin, they will suffer with extreme health problems. Benita Lee from GoodRx explains the increase in price currently and over the past 18 years, saying, though prices are not climbing as quickly as they did between 2002 and 2013, when the average cost of insulin therapy nearly tripled, the average price insulin has increased 55% since the first quarter of 2014. When diabetics do not have enough insulin in their body, their blood sugar rises, putting them at extreme risk for other health problems. The National Kidney Foundation explains this, saying, if your diabetes is not well controlled, your sugar levels goes up. This is called hyperglycemia, or high blood sugar. High blood sugar can cause damage to very small blood vessels in your body. When your blood vessels are damaged, it can have a serious effect on the eyes, heart, nerves, and kidneys. If insulin prices do not decrease, we will see a growing number of diabetics with health problems resulting from inadequate insulin dosage. The billion-dollar insulin companies in the U.S. price their products at such extreme rates that most people cannot afford it. The citizens of the U.S., especially the ones living with diabetes, need to vote for politicians that are passionate about every American being covered by medical insurance, no matter what their income is, so that all people will be able to afford the medicine they need to survive. Insulin needs to become affordable now, so diabetics like myself can easily attain the medication they need to survive. Insulin is not a luxury, it is a necessity and needs to be priced like one. Thank you.